What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Barrel Podcast. Today, I have my pre-game predictions for the Bears-Rams divisional matchup, and I told you we'd be here. That last game, oh my goodness, this game, bro. This is gonna sound crazy, but I really hope this game is not as crazy or not as good as the last game because I'm fine with just a boring game that we win. Yeah, all right, let's get into it. January 18th, this Sunday Night Football at 5:30 in Soldier Field. Currently, the matchup is, or not the matchup, the projection is that the Rams are going to win. They have a 60.7% chance to win the game, and I think that's a little crazy. I think that's a little crazy. I think the Bears, especially being at home, it's going to be 18 degrees. I think we have a pretty good shot to win this game. If our defense can clutch, I think we have a really good shot. But looking at the leaders for both teams, Matthew Stafford, of course, is going to, I don't know what I'm talking about, 4,707 yards this season. Their passing offense has been amazing. He does have an injury with his hand, so we'll see how that affects his play. Caleb Williams, 3,942 yards. Kyron Williams, their leading rusher, 1,252 yards. DeAndre Swift, 1,087 yards. Puka Nacua, their leading receiver, 1,715 yards. And our leading receiver, Colson Loveland, 713. So the leading receiver has 1,000 more yards than our leading receiver. So then sacks, Byron Young has the most sacks on their team with 12. Montez Sweat has the most sacks on our team with 10. And then Landman, I don't know what his first name is. I would say Nick Landman. I feel like that's right. He has 332 tackles, and Tremaine Edmonds, 112. Now we're going to go over the history of the matchups in the playoffs. So the Bears and the Rams have only met twice in the playoffs, once in 1950, where the Bears won. Where the Rams won, and then the last time that the Bears and the Rams met was 1986, where the Chicago Bears won 24-0. So, do with that what you will. We haven't faced them since 1986. We've only faced them twice, and we're 1-1. So, not really anything recent. So, it's gonna be a very interesting matchup. Looking at the injury report, there's nothing really concrete. We're only out on Wednesday, so nothing really concrete. But Akello Witherspoon is on IR. Jordan Whittington is questionable. Josh Wallace is questionable. Terrence Ferguson's questionable, and Kevin Dotson is questionable. For the Bears, C.J. Gardner-Johnson is questionable with a concussion. Ozzie Trapilo is on IR with a knee injury. T.J. Edwards is on IR with a lower leg injury. Joe Tryon-Shoyinka is questionable with a concussion. Amin Ogundega, I don't know, is questionable with a concussion. And then Andrew Billings, he's out. I don't know what we're going to do without him. So now we're going to look at the Rams, what they did in the last game against the Panthers. Honestly, it was not that good of a game for the Rams. They only passed for 304 yards. I thought they were going to look a lot better. And honestly, it gives me a little bit more confidence going into this game, especially in a colder environment. They didn't really play that well last game. They kind of squeaked out a victory. They only won 34-31. But the Bears kind of did the same. So, and honestly, I think with the way that the playoffs are going this year, you really, from 1 week to the next, you really just cannot look into it too much because, teams look completely different going from 1 week to another. But, that's all we can do. Looking at the regular season, this is going to be the regular season stats just to kind of look and see how the teams have been. For the Bears on offense, we are 9th in points per game with 25.9. We were 6th in yards per game with 369.2. Passing yards per game, we were 10th with 225.1. Rushing yards per game, we were 3rd with 144.5. Giveaways, we were number 1 with only 7 interceptions, 4 fumbles, with a total of 11 giveaways. And third down percentage, we were 7th with 42.73. Looking at the Rams offense, they were number 1 in just about everything. They were number 1 in points per game with 30.5. Yards per game, they were number 1 with 394.6. Passing yards per game, they were number 1 with 268.1. Rushing yards per game, they were 7th with 126.6. And then giveaways, they were 6th with 8 interceptions, 7 fumbles for a total of 15 giveaways. And then their third down percentage was 17th in the NFL with 39.58. Now looking at defense, the Bears defense is 23rd in points given up per game with 24.4. Yard given up per game, they're 29th with 361.8. Passing yards given up, we were 22nd with 227.2. And rushing yards given up, we were 27th with 138.5. Giveaways, we were obviously number 1 with 23 interceptions and 10 fumbles for 33 total takeaways. Penalties per game, we were 27th, with 7.1 penalties per game and 57.1 yards given up per game because of penalties, which penalties is what saved us last game, because if it wasn't for that false start, we would have lost, because that ball was way over Caleb Williams' head. So, kind of to our advantage. Then looking at the Rams defense, they are 10th in points given up per game with 20.4. Yards given up per game, they're 17th with 327.5. Passing yards given up, they're 19th with 216.7. And rushing yards given up, they're 12th with 110.8. And then takeaways, they're 5th in the NFL with 16 interceptions, 10 fumbles for a total of 26 takeaways. And they are number 1 in penalties per game, only having 4.4 and 33.7 total yards of penalties given up per game. So the Rams are a very good team. I'm going to give you my 3 keys to a Bears victory, though, because this is going to be a crazy game. Number 1 is, most importantly, getting pressure on Matthew Stafford. Especially because he's not going to be playing at 100%. He does have an injured hand. I think it's fractured or something, but he's definitely going to play. It's the playoffs. But especially in the cold, every hit's going to be that much more devastating. We need to get pressure on the quarterback. We saw what happened in the Packers game. That first half, when we just let Jordan Love have time in the pocket, he picked apart our secondary. Our secondary is not good enough to contend with the Rams wide receivers. If we want any chance to win this game, we need to get pressure on Matthew Stafford, because we saw it in the second half of the Packers game when we did put pressure on Jordan Love. That's when he was, intentional grounding, missed passes. Obviously, there was a couple drops from the Packers wide receivers, which, we can't really count on with the Rams. But you never know. We just need to get pressure on Matthew Stafford. Number 2, we need a better start to this game. We cannot fall behind in this game, because this offense that we're facing is one of the best offenses in the league. In a lot of categories, especially passing, they are the best. They put up the most points, they get the most yards, they have the best passing offense, and the rushing offense is still top 10 in the league. So we need a fast start to this game. This is going to be more like the 49ers game, if anything, because what I'm thinking is probably going to be a shootout. So we need a fast start to this game. We cannot fall behind by double digits going into half. We need, at least, if we're down, we need to be within 1 score where we can get back. So we have to have a fast start to this game. And number 3, we need to convert on, in the red zone. We need all the points we can get. We have to score as many times as possible. If it's fourth down and we're in field goal range, we better be kicking that field goal. With the way that we did 4th downs last game, we cannot have that happen again. We cannot miss, 7 4th down conversions. That was horrible. We cannot let that happen. So those are my 3 keys to a Bears victory. Get pressure on Matthew Stafford, get to a fast start, and convert in the red zone. So with that being said, my prediction is a Bears victory. I think it's going to be a very close game. Not going to be very good for my heart, but I think it's going to be a very good game. I think it's going to come down to the final drive, because that's how a lot of these playoff games have come. And hopefully the Bears can win it. If it comes down to a game-winning field goal, I'm probably going to... No, I just hope we don't... I just don't want to lose in a heartbreaking way. That would suck. But honestly, looking at the Seahawks and the Seahawks and the 49ers, I do want the Seahawks to win. Not because I'm saying they're a worse team, but I want the final game to be in Chicago. Because if we play in Chicago, I feel like we have the advantage over most teams. So hopefully the 49ers can win. We can get an NFC championship in Chicago. That'd be insane. And never know, maybe even a Super Bowl. But that's it for today. I'll see you guys next time. Until next time, don't forget to bear down.